Happy New Year. It's interesting, the assigned text for New Year's Day is probably the shortest text, Luke 2:21. It's about Jesus being taken into the temple and being given his name, formally and officially. So I ask you, what's in a name? Well, sometimes we name our fears in order to gain control over them. One thing I heard coming into New Year's was you should name your resolutions to somebody else out loud. You have a greater chance of succeeding in fulfilling them. Sometimes we drop names in order to add weight to what we're saying. Somehow by attaching our words to somebody's name that has some credibility, somehow makes what we say more valuable. But many times, especially as we think of naming our children, names become an identity for someone to live up to or maybe live into. My wife and I, when we were deciding the names of our children, being both teachers, there were certain names we wanted to avoid because of former students that we had that didn't quite live up to our expectations. Likewise, we looked for students who did, and thereby choosing their names. But what was with Frank Zappa? He named his son Dweezil and his daughter Moon Unit. What's with that? And as I prepared for this message, I found out that the name Judas, who has very much of a negative connotation these days, his name means let God be praised. Eventually what he did caused that to happen, but that was not his intention. Well, I also found a story because of what one of my members asked me. A story of a Michael King Sr. In the 1930s, Michael King Sr. took a trip over to Germany and was so enthralled by the history over there that when he came back to the States, being a senior, he changed his name, but his son's name as well. And today we know that son of his as Martin Luther King Jr. because of what he saw with Martin Luther and what he did for the faith. He decided to make that change, and I would have to say that Martin Luther King Jr. lived into that name. So, what's in a name? I know nowadays we don't take much stock into the meaning of names. I know my name, David, means beloved one. My wife's name is Sarah. It means princess. But do you know what your name means? Do we even consider that anymore these days? Especially when you see all these oddball kind of names that are being given to children. I think, especially as we hear and know about names, maybe we should begin again to take greater care in the giving of names. But it seems in our age today, the symbol of a name has been emptied of all its meaning. In fact, we have to really strain to appreciate the significance of a name. Too often it becomes just a mindless utterance. It's something that we just call out without even realizing the significance to that name. But upon occasion, there are names that are given to children. And sometimes they're names that are a dreadfully high standard to have to live up to. That's the first take. Next, take two.